Hello, and welcome to another episode of my pictures. This is the Paleo Hebrew, and this is 77. And so we know that Israel has become 77 years old, and the prophecy unfolds. Here's Brittany with the Egyptian Ankh tattooed on his chest. He's got no breasts. It's a guy, not a girl. And he is shooting hoops in his LA mansion. Don't forget, this monster was swapped out for a real monster, murderer, killer. So it's like they were caught smoking pot in Russia, so they did a prisoner swap with this transgender football player who pretends to be a girl. So anyway, that's that. Thought I would just carry on here, which we find very interesting. The next thing is I wanted to show is this Paleo Hebrew button that was found in where the Ark and the Covenant was found by Ron Wyatt. And so this is very telling of the Hebrew and the age and origins of Ron Wyatt's discovery. Here's another picture of it here. And so it's very profound that people can't argue the fact that Ron Wyatt was there and found those things. Jamie Lee Curtis was a man, yeah, just like all of your heroes are zeros. Here's a picture where Epstein Island and Ghislaine Maxwell is at this log cabin and has the same crack in the log and the same knot in the log. And then here you have a picture of the Queen at the same place. So birds of feather flock together. I will just leave it at that. So on to the next one. This picture I had a hard time posting, and I'm just going to push pause, but you can see the glee on Justin Trudeau's face and Mother as they're suggesting that his brother went missing and it's his fault. He should have stayed home and played Nintendo. And I'm sorry, but people don't act like this when they lose a loved one. Just saying. You could judge a man by the fruit of his tree. If the tree yields good fruit or bad fruit, so be it. This is kind of what's happening all over the world, but we see these things. Just going to move along here to some of the other stuff. We know that some of the stuff that we're witnessing is pretty horrific, and so pay no mind to it, and please, whatever you do, don't get too troubled over it. It is what it is. This happened where the lady suggested in Canada that we're not allowed to use a pen, where clearly that's a lie. Our election was stolen here in Canada. That's all you need to know. We don't allow pens during the election. So this is Red Shoe Society in Monica Lewinsky's dress, and Bill Clinton, a frequent flyer at Epstein Island. They're part of the same occult. We know this to be true because it's consistent behavior. Here's the Freemason Lodge, where two Freemasons are shaking hands. You can see the square and the compass right here, dead center, and the checkerboard floor. So, yeah, it's all theater. Just keep that in mind. Yeah. Just going to move along here with some of the other... here's... some British guy who claims that he has given his life to Jesus, Baal. He worships Baal. He admits that he worships Jesus, which is Baal. So they're mocking and scoffing as they tell you that. And so tariffs, this is Joseph Aquaviva's work, 34%, and it's all there in Gematria if you just spend some time to look at Gematria. So here's the three world leaders, and here's the parents of Barack Obama. And so these world leaders, if you study these women, they're vile. And so how did they as teenagers hang out with each other and in their nudiness and then become world leaders? It's because they're all part of the same club. So here's the owl, the Moloch I was talking about. And it's at the U.S. Capitol in the walkway, and you see it in the iconography all over the place. And so don't be troubled with that either. All of your heroes are zeros. So all of these men are men. They're all men. They're men, okay? There's no women in this picture. And so when you wake up to the fact of how deviant these people are, here's the Vanderbilts, and Vanderbilt had 2 children, one of the wealthiest evil people on the planet as well. And those 2 children that you see there are these 2 children you see here. Okay, so just keep that in mind, that all of your heroes are zeros. They're very consistent in their behavior. And yeah, here's their modern art, a butt plug. They're mocking and scoffing you. Here's Aleister Crowley and Barbara Bush and Pauline Pierce, the mother. And so you could clearly see a resemblance to these people, and they're extremely malevolent, and they're all connected. The forest fires all over, and that's weapons. And so when I wanted to show you some of the iconography is that CC, third letter of the alphabet. You have a full C and another C, and that's 33. It's just one of many examples. And so Chat GPT logo, if you overimpose it on itself, you have this star of Rephaim, the star of Moloch, the star of Gnosticism or Satan. This star is also, when you, and I'll show you earlier on in this video, the iconography and how it works. So Ghislaine Maxwell hanging out with Mark Carney. And they're just buddies. They happen to just know each other accidentally. I don't think so. Birds of feather flock together. So let me just carry on. There's many statues of liberty, by the way. They're in different areas of the world, and they're all predicting this spikes coming out of the head, and they're all Lucifer. Bundy, one of the royal families. There's your TV show mocking and scoffing you with 33 and Bundy. 1/3 of heaven fell to earth. This is your social media. And what you're going to see here is basically bots and trolls and what they do and how much you're talking into thin air. Just to keep you going here. Aquaman and their family doing their little Freemason symbols. He was in the same picture rubbing the daughter's breasts on public. Pretty vile behavior. Again, Macaulay Culkin. And now he's part of a band. Here's Joe Biden with a child and another child in lingerie. So Joe Biden and a Biden laptop is definitely pretty evil. Oh, sorry, I lost my pictures there. Let me get back to my albums, if I can. Oops. Oh, I really screwed that up. Let me continue. My library. There we go. I'll have to start over. Catch up to here where I'm going. Sorry about that, folks. So, the next thing I wanted to show you is... okay, so we got Joe Biden with children, pictures with children. And that poor child was mutilated by Joe Biden, Joe Biden's son. No doubt about it. Here's more. Nancy Pelosi's nephew. And of course, Chuck Schumer, and another deviant. And there he is there, right next to Nancy Pelosi. And there you have a child being tied up. And so these slow drip, slow leak. Here's Tony Robertson playing two characters at once. All of your heroes are zeros. This is what they do to our children. They're bleeding out the child. This picture is pretty ancient. See all the dead babies underneath. So that's what's been happening. Here's Tom Hanks, SRC USA, with the glove, and his creepy pictures was leading you to a child pornography site. Here's Vladimir Zelensky, an actor who plays a president. And he most certainly is an actor. And I believe Madonna's boyfriend there gave him a Academy Award for his acting as the president. So A113, this is a video I did earlier about A113, and it's basically all of the codes in gematria, or sorry, in numerical, showing 113 is actually the adrenochrome molecule. This is what most of the world thinks of Benjamin Netanyahu. This Volkswagen symbol, when they talk about the Mandela effect, that they were not connected, it's a lie. The Mandela effect is CIA op. And when you spin this logo, it, believe it or not, makes a swastika. Interesting little fun fact there. So let me continue on. Here's Mark Carney, Klaus Schwab, and Justin Trudeau, born on December 25th. And all of these people are deviant, I guarantee you. That's just what happens when they get caught in this occult. Here's Elon Musk's mother with the one-eye symbolism. I'm sorry, that's not your typical behavior for mothers, but who knows. Again, more world leaders with their hand symbols, pretending to be controlled opposition. This is, by the way, not a Nazi symbol. It is a Roman symbol, and all of the leaders do it, all of them. Here's another one. And I'll continue to show you more. Beyonce on the red horse and the black horse. So they're showing you the four horses of the apocalypse. A friend of mine gave me this. Lord Bacon, Francis Bacon, the one who had a lot to do with Canada and the writing of scripture. Here's Beyonce again, riding the white horse. Beyonce, we know, is a witch. These are the two cattle that we found. There's a third one, and with the 7 on their heads. So I spoke of this video today, and I'll be posting this video today as well about the cows with the 7 on their heads. This is what they want, the Club of Rome, and you have your 10 kingdoms. And so there it is. It's going to be all split up, and that's what America's doing now, is trying to annex Canada and Denmark. All part of the plan. And they're going to continue on. That's what they do. This is the spirit cooker, Abravanich, hanging out with Luciferians and all of the Hollywood elite. Here she is with Jacob Rothschild with the Statue of Liberty, Satan behind her in the painting. Just so you know. Yeah, they're pretty much very satanic. This is all supposedly art. And notice who she's hanging out with. There's Lady Gaga. And so, yeah. Just so you know, Gwen Stefani, all of these people, they're all part of it. They're all part of the club. And their love of pizza, it's just mocking and scoffing all day long. We're eating your children. There's Macaulay Culkin's band. And yeah, he's definitely part of the club. The Beatles, all of your heroes are zeros, holding up a bunch of dead babies. And John Lennon was quoted as saying, the world is run by sociopaths. He wasn't kidding himself. Here's the Podesta pictures that came out of some of this. Why do they all wear red shoes? Because they're part of the Red Shoe Society, made of human skin, just like the Pope's shoes. And in their sick satanic art, they have these children being tied up, obviously to their doom. And that's typical of these monsters. They have to harm little children because they're cowards. Again, hamburgers and hot dogs clock, and I'm not allowed to talk. He's got the Black Eye Society, same thing. It's the Red Shoe Society, same monsters, same characters. Lawrence Rockefeller, son of pedophile John Podesta, and Chester Bennington from Lincoln Park. We have a Lincoln Park here in Alberta. Again, your playgrounds have pornography in it and people don't even recognize it. It's pretty sad. Here's what I was talking earlier about the red cabal list, the wristband that these people are controlled opposition of. 33%, 1/3 of heaven fell to earth, the Freemason number. 33 billion people globally. So they just reuse this number all day long. Hong Kong, March 8. And so you see that there's a mannequin here, but people don't look at the news closely, but it was all fear porn. All of that was fear porn. Here's another example. Globe and Mail, more fear porn. And yeah, it's just about scaring the heck out of you so you will listen to their lies. And we stop that. Panda eyes. You see a lot of symbolism with pandas and these world leaders. And that is what panda eyes is. It's when you sodomize a child and cause internal trauma, burst the capillaries around their eye sockets, and these children go through hell, and they are monsters. Marijuana equals 88. 88 active cases in Canada. April 20th, again. They mock you and scoff you with all of their symbolism. Here's another one, Pfizer, 33%, AstraZeneca, 33%. And it just continues with their fear porn. Here's a good example of fear porn. They've been climatizing you for quite some time with fear porn. That's what they do. And so I'm going to skip over some of this Paleo-Hebrew, but I encourage you to look at it. It's a beautiful language. And yeah, here we have another Hollywood delete, talking about a pizza book and how evil it is. And we're going to continue on. We had discussions about the six-fingered giants, the offspring of the Nephilim, the Alud. And so it's in everything. You see in cave paintings, and you see in carvings, and you see in statues. And yeah, make no mistake about it. The six fingers, again, in all countries and in continents. So when people say the giants aren't real and all of those things aren't real about the Book of Enoch, it most certainly is. And again, I just have to zoom into this and continue on. I said we're in World War III, and I mean it. World War I, the date, equals 68. World War II equals 68. And invasion of Ukraine equals 68. Revelation 6, verse 8. And behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death, and hell followed after him. And power was given to take a fourth part of the earth and kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. And that's what's kind of happening now. Again, we've seen this flag. I made a video about it already, but they didn't accidentally put an extra finger in this fist, in the Palestine flag. They know what they're doing when they do this symbolism. Okay, 33 emails, right? Yeah, okay, Donald Trump. There's that 33 again. And so, blackface, Justin Trudeau. We got other actors that got fired and lost their job, but Justin Trudeau didn't. So, yeah, NCCA, 33. There's your 33 in that. I've shown all of these before. Captain Crunch, Musketeers, Milky Way, all got 33 in them. This 33 is in everything. Just so you know who's responsible for COVID-19 vaccine, all of these CDC, all of these people, okay? So when you have anti-Semitism, you'll know why. They're all doing their little hand signals. Keir Starmer, right? Pyramid sign, great Grand Master Mason, right? They're all doing this hand signals. So once you get that, you kind of wake up and you realize all of your heroes are zeros. Yahweh is going to save us. These are pictures of Crimea. These are genetically modified monsters. There's the griffin. Okay. You have pictures of griffins and dragons and beasts that were completely beyond any comprehension. They weren't real. And so truth is stranger than fiction. Here's Mark Carney again in the background with the Chinese. And he says he has nothing to do with the elections, or shall I call them selections. So again, your pedophile symbols are in all your cartoons. There's a pedophile symbol, the triangle within a triangle, just like Justin Trudeau's logo. Justin Trudeau's foundation is a pedophile symbol. And here you have the circle, the spiral, it's a pedophile symbol. Again, your pedophile symbols in pretty much everything, the triangle within a triangle within a triangle. And you'll see it in almost everything. Once you're awake, you'll start waking up and you'll realize, why did they put pedophile symbols in children's cartoons? And then it makes you realize how malevolent these entities are, that they would make fun and mock and scoff you. So these rituals that the Hollywood elite go through, these are humiliation rituals. William Dafoe did it, and same with Will Smith, his son did it. That's what they do. Okay, that's just the way it is. The one-eye symbolism we talked about, worship of Ra, and the evil people of Hollywood mocking and scoffing you with absolutely every chance they get. So we see the deities and their symbolism will be their downfall, because they do the job of Satan, and they will continue in their mocking and scoffing and rituals. I wouldn't go to any one of these concerts if you paid me. Here's the Horus, the crossing of the arms, Wakanda Forever. Everybody was on that little gig for a while. You have another boy pretending to be a girl doing it. These are all boys. Another boy pretending to be a girl doing it. Stephen King, creep of all creeps, he's doing it. And then basically all of your Hollywood delete do that. You think, oh, I thought that actor was cool. No, they're all in on it. And, again, symbolism will be their downfall. Here's a perfect example of Egyptian iconography. And that's what they do. They worship evil. Yeah, so they all do it. Seinfeld, Zionist, all of them. When you go through it, they love this X symbol, the one-eye symbolism again, Madonna. So, it will continue. The mixing of the blood, the blue blood and the red blood become purple blood. That's why the purple color is there, because they're mixing male and female. And the parthenogenesis continues. Again, Donald Trump's hero was a Norman Vincent Peale, 33-degree Mason. So when he talks about him, you could know why. The Olympics have Zion written right in the Olympics, Z-I-O-N, and you have the square and the compass. Upside down W, upside right W, and it also has the Star of Rephaim. And this will continue. 5013C, Levites, 501, the people who wear red shoes made of human skin. C3, 3 is the third letter of the alphabet. And C is obviously a 3, so you have 50133. Hidden in plain sight. And if you look at the letters up here, 5 plus 1 equals 6. C is 3. 6 times 3, which is 18, which is 666. If you look at the iconography, again, it'll blow your mind. Mark Carney at Pedo Island. Pretty scary. Here's, again, the people that worship the 6 fingers. It clearly looks like he's hiding his finger on purpose. Again, the toes on the statues at the Hoover Dam. Just saying, the iconography is everywhere. When you look at the iconography, you could really see that it's in your dollar bill, it's in everything, right? And then you could do your own decodes and you could look at it and understand this isn't conspiracy anymore, this is truth, right? This one was named Crowley, Aleister Crowley, AC, Antichrist. And front and center upside down cross. So, you know, it doesn't take much to realize that, yeah, that's an upside down cross, and that they're pretty evil. And they're basically telling you, yeah, we accidentally burnt down Los Angeles to build a new Los Angeles, and you'll own nothing and be happy. And that's just the way it is. And the minute you wake up to that and you realize all of your heroes are zeros. Denzel Washington, I thought he was cool. He does motivational speaking. He's part of it. He's controlled opposition. Brad Pitt, yep. If he's even a guy, I doubt it. See, all the world leaders are doing this. They're all doing their little, we're part of an occult, take your picture, we're murdering you, committing murder, sedition, and treason globally. Here's another picture of what they want. And so they want to take Canada and Denmark, right? The Panama Canal they talked about. And that's your 10 kingdoms. So yeah, Twitter, Model X, Tesla, SpaceX. So you have, you know, this 666 symbolism in all of what he does, you know. You could go down a lot of rabbit holes and find out very quickly this is truth. One of my viewers asked me earlier about this logo. The logo of Paramount Pictures is the stars, the 22 stars of the coming down to the mountain of Horeb, or right underneath this mountain is the Pan's Cave. It's Mount Hermon, and it's pretty evil. And again, Hermon, abrupt, to devote, to religious uses, destroy, forfeit, to have a flat nose. And so all of these fires, they're definitely direct energy weapons and laser weapons. We've seen this in the United Kingdom. Demon fire, well, that's a good name for it, because you got to be demons to fire on your own citizens. And again, we did decodes with Mountain Dew, Typhoon Dew, Flaming Hot Dew. We had Maui Blue, and all of these seem to come online when the fires happened. So pretty consistent. Smart City, Los Angeles, 2028. Well, that's right around the corner, isn't it? But they're going to have to burn down that place to... Yeah, so when this picture here, you see the laser weapon won't touch yellow, won't touch red, or burn yellow, burn red, but it won't burn blue. So everything in these fires that is blue never caught on fire. And it's pretty horrific. So yeah, CDC, they're just a private organization committing murder, sedition, and treason. Here's some Democrats doing their Roman Sieg Heil. And so yeah, you think Trump and Elon are Nazis for going to salute, but Barack is doing it, Hillary's doing it, all these other politicians are doing it. It's everyone, because they're all part of it. And when you realize that, you wake up in a hurry, and nobody's coming to save us. So you must trust in Yahweh. You must put on the armor of Yahweh. This picture is suitable. They had no water to put out the fires. And how ironic that, yeah, the fire chief was, different. Let's just call it that, what it is. So, yeah. These fires that are happening all over the world. Fake picture of Disney 33 Club. Again, Walt Disney was part of it. This is at the base of the Statue of Liberty, the star. This is the Ouroboros, the snake eating its tail. We've actually seen a sign in the heavens that look exactly like the snake eating its tail. So prophetic, perhaps. Sputnik, how far back in history you see this checkerboard floor in the reflection of Sputnik? It's all fake, even Sputnik. They're not satellites, they're balloons. Wayne Gretzky, I thought he was cool. This statue, or this picture of the Moloch owl is actually in the dollar bill, hidden up the top right-hand corner. And yeah, he's most certainly part of the club. All of these other evil delete are part of the club. They say, I repented. No, you didn't. They're mocking and scoffing you with this movie Metropolis, because this movie Metropolis is actually telling you that the people in the underworld are slaves to the people on the surface, but it's just the opposite. Us on the surface are slaves to the people in the underworld. But that's what they do. They mock and scoff you constantly and consistently. So in this video, what I've done is just show people that all of these things that you could go to watch at Global Freedom Party is showing you all of these were weapons that were unleashed onto humanity. And there's not much you could do about it, but repent. Hopefully the poison can be removed. There's again Freemasons. And so, yeah, it's all of them, all of your Hollywood elite. I don't know very many that aren't part of this occult. And so they shake hands in a certain way with their little finger put out there. And that'll continue. This is the event that we need to watch carefully because they planted this Star of Rephaim on top of Mount Harmon. So they're actually saying we captured Harmon. There it is there in Hebrew. And so let it be known that they're all in on this and they're most certainly going to continue. Now, when we talk about the Eye of Ra, this is how you spell Ra. It's Resh and Ayin. And here's the Godhead and I as an Ayin, Ra, R-A, Ra. Resh and Ayin, I, Ra, I, Ra. And it means evil, bad, or harmful. So how fitting that Yahweh's language is so perfect. Here you have the symbol of Luciferian when they're showing you how the eye works. And this is also in an eclipse as well that I will show you earlier. Izus, it's I-X-O-Y-E, or Suter. So this is an acronym. This isn't Jesus' name. It's not Jesus. It's not Jesus. His name is Yeshua. But we are deceived. Here's the eclipse and the seal of Satan, showing you the same symbolism for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. This was the Lucifer's symbolism, and here's the churches laid out at the Vatican opened all those portals. There's your symbolism again, their funky little handshake, right? Joe Biden and Trump. Here you have the king, or I'm sorry, Prince Philip and the Queen's boyfriend. And yeah, George Bush with his special little handshake. So yeah, don't kid yourself. They're all part of it. Every single one of them. European Theater of Operations. Notice you use the word theater. Why? Because it's exactly that. It's theater. And once you wake up to the fact, here's Jimmy Savile, a known pedophile, hanging out with the Beatles, because that's what they do. They hang out together. Barack Obama, Barack meaning lightning, Obama from the heights, and Satan was cast down like a bolt of lightning. Here's the seat of Satan and the angel of Pergamos. And here you have the seat of Satan, and it's identical stage for his arrival on stage as President of the United States. So Runish Sunni, or whatever his name is, he's got the red Kabbalist wristband on. And the Island Boys, they're the Island Boys, and here they are before they were ruined by this Epstein monster. And so, yeah, they are indoctrinated and enslaved and then destroyed by lack of knowledge. Here's Mr. Clinton hanging out with children who have been groomed and most certainly had a horrible time on the island. Here's another red wristband person handing a evil staff to Pope Francis. You know, here's Madonna with their evil wristband. The people giving the staff evil wristband. Carol Burnett. I always thought Carol Burnett was cool. Well, not really. She's got the red shoes too, so she was part of the club. And so you start to see their hands and what they're symbolizing and what they're doing, and then it becomes very clear. Now, this is right out of the Vatican. Vicaris Filii Del, and that means 666 in Gematria. Gematria is Babylonian. And so the Vatican is telling you that they're worshiping the devil. Greek, Latin, kingdom, Italian, church, Latin, speaking man. And all these numbers equals 666. So the Vatican is most certainly the synagogue of Satan. That's all there is to it. It doesn't take much to realize that once you start looking at the iconography. Here's Justin Trudeau, born on December 25th, the winter solstice. And here he is here showing the voter fraud technology with George Soros' son in the background. And here he is here. And they got that lapel. Everybody wears that lapel. And so let he who have understanding recognize the number of the beast. Abomination, literally, like he's telling you he's an abomination. They put it in the name of the books. On the statue that they erected in Sin City in Legacy Park, in his famous speech, he said, they said, I'm going to be the last president and destroy America. Now that's a legacy. And so his statue went up in Legacy Park. And basically, the three books was Abomination, Martin Luther King's book, and Michelle Obama's book called Becoming Michelle. Again, mocking and scoffing, saying she became Michelle. Because before that, it was a Michael, not a Michelle. Can't spell Jerusalem without USA. Just a little pun there, but very consistent. All of the northern stars and lights during these events. So one thing should be said about the earth, that it's not what you think it is, and that the alphabet is and always has been written in the stars. And when you understand that the English alphabet was phonic and pictographic and numerical, and that it's written in the stars, in the Meseroth, then you comprehend the ancient language and the reality in which we live in. I'm going to leave this here for you to research, but it is written in the stars. This is what I wanted to talk about. This is NexRad, and you see these beams coming out. This is the technology being used against us. This video is to warn Canadian citizens that this Sunday they're going to have a pro-Israel march in Canada, in Ottawa, and the Muslims are allowed to join. So when you or anybody wants to, watch the NexRad stations if they're bleeping off all disharmonious frequencies to cause people to become rage monsters, because that's what the technology does. We've seen it in the movie Kingsman. We've seen it in the movie The Cell, and we've seen it in other predictive programming movies where people are enraged, and I've done videos on this. $330 million. Again, there's that 33. They just love using that number. They can't help but use that number. Yep, this man turned away life-saving supplies. Yeah, so Hurricane Helene, they turn people away. They've done this at Jasper and in Scotch Creek and all over the world. And so this man keeps on showing up, a Zionist, and here he is with the guy that supposedly shot Trump. Here he is here hanging out with Zelensky. And here he is here just hanging out with all of these people. And they're all connected because they're all part of the same occult. There he is there with Joe Biden. And so it doesn't take a rocket science to look at this stuff and realize that they're all connected. If the same guy is in a Vanguard BlackRock video that shot Trump, and the same guy that attempted to shoot Trump is also in an ad with BlackRock, it's too coincidental. And the media, silent. And I'm sorry, but the FBI, Kash Patel and others, silent. It's Zionists doing this. So this was found. This is the Chinese rover landing backdrop for their rover. And right here you see a nuclear bomb. And if you look closely where it's at, it doesn't look good. So why would they put a nuclear bomb blowing up in their pictures? Something to think about. So we know that they're evil. There's your 33. Oh, you gave your life to Jesus, Christmas Jesus, born on December 25th, like Justin Trudeau and Anthony Fauci. So I have a hard time believing these people because birds of feather flock together. There's P. Diddy hanging out, right? As above, so below. So this was the Asclepius, the two serpents over the penis of the transgender deity, Baphomet. And you see it in your sports, two fingers up or one finger up, one finger down. As above, so below. You'll see more of this, but to give you an idea, Vanguard and BlackRock, who owns these companies? Who owns the companies that run the companies, that own shares in those companies? And here's an actual accurate map. All the black space is owned by BlackRock Inc. And so, yeah, the Zionists own the world, period. 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 7 is 11. 9, 11 on the hat. There be. Interesting. How coincidental. Yep, all the girls are boys. Here he is as a boy, and now he's a woman. And it's like, oh, we got the whole world fooled. Not really. Just the sleepy ones. Predictive programming. Destruction of the Twin Towers. It's in everything. This is a sad decode to do. I won't talk too much about it, but this is Lucifer. There you see it there. There's Liberty. Same statue. Same chain broken at the feet. And same look and appearance. Iconography will be their downfall. Here they are, proudly showing you that what they're spraying in the air is poisoning, and they're getting a paycheck, so who cares? Massive tanks, massive chemical warfare perpetrated on humanity. It's a sad day that we would have to expose these people, and they're still taking a paycheck, and they're getting poisoned as well. But they don't care because they got a paycheck and they're given over to their reprobate mind. So there's tons of evidence that this is happening. The professor at the University of Alberta right here in Canada said, oh no, that's a conspiracy. Well, we got all the evidence and pictures and photographs and samples. So yeah, and 9/11, these buildings were demolished. Here's a perfect example. These are thermite charges. Thermite brought down those buildings, period. So here's more NexRad. And when you realize what's happening with this technology, they spray the air with all this stuff and then they electrify it. And so we're in big trouble. You know, they mock you and scoff you, say Satan instead of Santa. They just moved this around. And so then you see this symbolism and what it means. And so understand that all of your heroes are zero. All of them. They're all in on it. And the more you wake up, the more you realize that they're going to continue. All of your heroes are zeros. All of the girls are boys. They put it in your iconography. Walt Disney, Lucasfilm, all of this, they're showing you the little dome. Marvel, Paramount Pictures we covered already. Lantern, Universal. So their symbolism is in everything when you start waking up, and you got to start wondering. This is the Aleph and the Tav that I talked about, the sign of Jonah, where it went over a bunch of towns called Little Egypt or Salem, and a bunch of towns called Nineveh. And there's your Aleph and your Tav. So we've been given the sign of Jonah. So all their one-eye symbolism in the Olympics, they're all part of it too. Finger pointing up, finger pointing down, as above, so below. This is a illusion. This guy does sports decodes. You can find him on YouTube. Encourage you to watch, study, listen, and learn. Again, more weapons caught. Here's Jasper, where my sister was burnt at a house and home that lost everything. This is L&W Restaurant, where I used to work. I worked there for a little bit, and it's burnt to a crisp, but the shrubs are still green. How interesting. What a weird phenomenon. We've seen these fires start on the same day in a perfect line. Now get this, these red dots were in a perfect line with no road access. You don't tell me that that's satellite technology, HARP, microwave. I would beg to differ. Here it is here, same thing. Church is burnt, signs perfect, trees right beside it are perfect, trees behind it are burnt. These are targeted weapons. Full stop. Here's a better Picture of L&W restaurant. The flowers are still blooming and everything else is destroyed. They didn't want people to go in there. They told all the firefighters to stand down, and they sat in Hinton, and I drove by them every week. Well, those firefighters stayed in their hotel room wanting to go and fight the fire, but the government wouldn't let them. So yeah, when it says to burn back better, build back better, United Nations Global Initiative, they're not kidding. It's real. It's fact. We've caught these weapons. We've seen these weapons. People have videotaped these weapons. So it's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. They're crisis actors. All of these actors were reused. Same actresses. Crying and moping and the indoctrination of our today's children was no different back in the Nazis. It's no different. Here's the sniper that took the other sniper out. He's wearing the Kabbalist wristband as well on the roof, shooting the guy who shot Trump. We've seen these weapons before being used. Again, malevolent. Jimmy Savile with the young boy. That young boy, Keir Starmer. Thank you, Joseph Aquaviva, for that one. So yeah, birds of feather flock together. Raised in a cult, and then indoctrinated, and then put to service. So, nowhere will you find this star having anything to do with Yah's children. It's attributed to Satan in Acts 7, verse 43, and Amos 5, verse 26. And so you could see that all of this evil stuff just started popping out of the woodwork. Like all of your food and all of your drink is all of a sudden evil. How did that be? So here's again a good example of harmonics and resonance. And so we see these things, and we've got to continue waking people up. Here's the Big Bang Theory with the adrenochrome molecule on his t-shirt. All of your heroes are zeros. BlackRock own all of these companies and many more. McDonald's, where they sell human meat, there's your Book of Magic, Book of Black Magic, and that's where they get the golden arches from. So don't eat at McDonald's anymore, it's poison. Challenger deception, well, all of these people that supposedly died are alive and well. So you trust NASA? You tell me these aren't the same people? I'm sorry, they're the same people. The exact same person. That guy is that guy. He's just older. Come on. Wake up, people. Hollywood elite hanging out with pedophiles and murderers of children. Azov Battalion hanging out with the Azov Battalion, a known Nazi organization. Interesting. I was telling you that the Pleiades, the 7 churches of the 7 angels, are actually the 7 Pleiades. Same with this belt of Orion is perfectly matches up with the pyramids. Jimmy Savile, a known pedophile, with the monarch butterfly, 88. And Prince Charles, he's not my king. This star chart of the Pleiades is exactly the same churches. Who shall loosen the belt of Orion? Who shall ask the Pleiades to be moved? Here again, American uniforms with the Star of Rephaim, not the Star of David, in the American uniforms. Here they are all after they come out with the painting of Prince Charles, he's not my king. They have matching shirts because they're all part of the same occult. It's a cult. It's a religion. It's an evil, devil-worshipping, child-murdering occult. Thank you, Chris Sparks, for this information. Bless you, my sister. Moloch. Moloch is the owl in Bohemian Grove. The owl that was in all of their iconography. As above, so below. More Northern Lights. Our world isn't what it seems. All ancient cultures knew this. So your Hollywood elite have been necromancing and spellcasting against you, and it turns out that they all started getting really dark. Cyndi Lauper, back in 1983 with the pedophile symbol. Interesting. Lady Gaga, mocking and scoffing, showing you panda eyes because that's what they love. Samda and Rushdie, interesting. Sure looks like Kubrick to me. Maybe I'm mistaken. Jehovah's Witness headquarters, Denmark. It's the all-seeing eye on the pyramid. The priests with their two fingers spread open like the Vulcan on Star Trek. Ouija boards for children to get them into witchcraft as young as possible. Stephen Hawking died on Pi Day. Wasn't even a real human. Pedophile symbols in your children's toys. Harley Davidson. The iconography is amazing. I said 20 divided by 30, 666. It goes on and on and on. All your cartoons that I'm showing you right here, too many to number. James Carter, JC, Jesus Christ. Do you see? All of your heroes are zeros. All of these Hollywood elite are hanging out with these spirit cookers. A113 in all of your cartoons. All of them. A113 in all of these cartoons. Bono with U2. Oh, he's a loser too? Yeah. Huh. Interesting. John Legend, hanging out with children. No junk in the trunk, and he's married to Chrissy Teigen, who erased all her Twitter tweets about having adrenochrome and children and pizza. And people got nervous, so she erased all her Twitter account. We'll never forget. The Hollywood elite, they're all in on it. Nickelodeon, interesting shaped island, interesting shaped logo. Nickelodeon, what does that mean? I don't care about God. Oh, that's what it means. Okay, good to know. Once again, you see world leaders acting very strange. World leaders don't act this way. That is not normal, Justin Trudeau and Francis Macron. Peace sign isn't a peace sign. It's a broken cross turned upside down. And your Doritos. Joe Rogan, I thought Joe Rogan was cool. He's a truth seeker. No, controlled opposition. 9/11. 9/11 turns into that logo. George Floyd riots. Abocadabro, order through chaos. There's the two-headed bird tattooed on his chest. It's complete lies. Vladimir Zelensky, a known deviant. Klaus Schwab, a known deviant. And I'm sorry, they all are operating in the same Doja, whatever her name is, necromensing the entire audience, doing the Super Bowl. All fake, all witchcraft. The Beatles, upside down crosses. World Health Organization, and this guy dancing around, prancing, very feminine. And now they just signed a thing saying they're going to take over all the countries? Really? Here's the Pope with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Interesting that they would hang out together. You got all the fear and plague and lies all imposed on those pictures behind you, so your subconscious picks it up. Nazi symbol is again with the Trump logo. Greta Thunberg, how dare you steal my future? With the one-eyed symbolism, she's controlled opposition. There's another pedophile wearing a skirt with no underwear on, reading books to children. Jimmy Savile hanging out with Prince Charles, best buddies. And he was given an award for giving them children. Notice the upside down cross. Yeah, Big Mike. People have seen these pictures. A Hollywood delete. They're all part of the club. It's a pattern. They're all Freemasons. It's not, ooh, Canada's election was stolen by China. No, it was stolen by Freemasons right in our own country. Here's the numbers, and I encourage you to screenshot this. And then you'll see all the 6s and 6s in NASA's math and understand it's a lie. And don't ever forget, thank you, Joseph Aquaviva, that COVID was declared a pandemic March 11th, 2020, exactly 666 days after the Clade X pandemic simulation. And what did we see in the opening Olympics? Well, we've seen all these nursing beds and death and children in those beds and the virus. And sure enough, then we had a pandemic. So your monster drink is Tav, 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 which is 666. And it's in all of your drinks. It's in everything you see. So for those that don't believe that this has something to do with the Hebrews, Shiva the Destroyer, 6 points, 6 triangles, 6 sides, 666, Luciferian Freemasonry. For all to see and nobody to hear. In your dollar bill, the S, the M, the O, the N, the A, and it spells Mason. Interesting. Pope Sixtus. Again, look closely. DNA tracing PCR. Do you know how old this is? How long they've been planning this? Quite some time. Let he who have understanding recognize the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. Right out of the Codex Vaticanus, ZC Stigmata, 666. Same thing. In the name of Allah, crossed sword, ZC Stigmata. What's on the headbands? ZC Stigmata. May you have understanding this day. May you see that the 4 horsemen and the colors and the representations, all of this fake news. There's a kid here, he's an actor, and they're taking pictures of him in Israel saying, oh, poor Johnny got killed. We're going to have to go kill some more Palestinians. Sandy Hook crisis actors all growing up, hanging out together. Because they're all abducted, raised into a cult, and they're all part of the occult. Here's some more predictive programming in all your cartoons and all your videos showing you the Twin Towers coming down. Warp speed, again, Nazi symbol right there. 666, www, or vav, vav, vav. And the decoding continues. All of your heroes are zeros. They've all done this. World War I, World War II, World War III. Here's all the weapons being used against mankind. Here's the Asclepius, Metatron, the staff of Hermes. We're in big trouble if we don't keep on sharing this information and waking people up. Don't stop fighting. Pray for Ukraine. Don't pray for Ukraine. Pray for those innocent people. The Ukrainian crest is the Harzarian Togma. It's pure evil. And I'm sorry, but Netanyahu with his Freemason handshake with the deviant, all 3 of these children that I showed you and them standing in the nude, hanging out as teenagers, become world leaders. How is that possible? Well, they're raised in an occult. Just like Keir Starmer. Then you get it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, screw your freedoms, take the vaccine. Well, his father was a Nazi. I could see where he gets his idea. Azov Battalion, Nazis. Finland, Nazis. Justin Trudeau was offended by the Canadian flag during the truckers' rally, but he happily signs a Nazi flag and happily, proudly shows the rainbow flag. Here's the Azov Battalion again with the Ukrainian Hazarian Targma. And here's Dr. Tam, who's a man. Bilanciagad means Baal is king. Oh, Sound of Freedom. Well, that's an interesting tie. You have Freemason square and compass. So you're just another Freemason. Okay, good to know. How bad is it? Well, here's pictures of Justin Trudeau with known pedophiles. Birds of feather flock together. He once was a teacher who slept with a student and got fired. Pedophile symbols in your diapers. The Pope, the rainbow flag, blaspheme. As above, so below. One eye symbolism. Mel Gibson's part of it? No, he did Passion for Christ and that movie about the kids at deep underground military bunkers, didn't he? Isn't he a good guy? Well, I don't know. I just know that three boys hanging out as teenagers all become world powerful multi-billionaires and world leaders is pretty coincidental. Over and over again, you see the same people popping up. There's Barack, meaning lightning. Obama, from the heights. Satan was cast down like a bolt of lightning, dressing up as Satan. Obama's got nothing better to do, just hanging out. Again, Justin Trudeau's friends, pedophiles. Hunter Biden's tattoo of Finger Lakes. I wonder how many underground bunkers we got children hiding in there. I think we should go look. This is Baal worship. This is what they do, is they pass these beautiful children, born beautiful into the world, alive, and they burn them alive. Here's the ants running around a cell phone, just like in the movie Cell. Just like what we're watching for, these frequency weapons. Another good example of gematria, all equaling 666. There's your Z stigmata. Here it is here. Let he who have understanding to count the number, Z stigmata, 660 and 666. For those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. Yeah, these people in Canada, they ruined Canada. They literally stepped on our flag. They beat us to a bloody pulp. We had a bouncy castle and all these beautiful people, and all they did was beat Canadians. All of your media is all owned by Zionists. All these little stars of Rephaim represent all of the media and who runs the media, and every single one of them are Zionist. Do you think that's coincidental? It's not. You could chase the bloodlines down in the royal family. They're all German. All the insignia that you'd ever want, it's all there for you to see. 10 minutes of research. The House of Stuart. Here's Quebec doing his little hand signal during COVID. Lucifer, the one that visited Muhammad in the cave. May you be blessed this day. I've just ran through all of these pictures once again for the viewers that I have. May you be blessed. This basketball player pretending to be a woman, beating women up in their basketball games. I feel sorry for this guy. He fails as a man and he fails as a woman. And it's a crying shame that we have to point these people out. But so be it. This happened at World Trade Center before they destroyed it. They put it into your face. Here's some of the decoders, and all of a sudden this guy is wearing a red Kabbalah wristband as well. So who do you trust? James Comey, 8647. Don't tell me that James that this FBI agent didn't know that 86 means to kill somebody and 47 is the 47th president. Now, 8647 days from September 11th, 2001, Thursday, May 15th, 2025. 8647. On 9/11/2001 to the 5th month on the 15th day, 2025. There's the date calculator right there, and it says 8647. And Comey just happens to put 8647. May you be blessed this day.